Hello, my name is 4Door Live on dseries.org. My actual name is Brian. Today I'm doing a DIY for rear lower control arm bushings. I'm using a 99 SI as an example. Just happen to have one laying around. It's a very simple process. I figured I'd do a DIY just so you can actually see the steps, and it's very simple. People think you need a $300 tool to press a bushing in and out. If you have the tool, use it. If not, you don't need it. All you really need is a good hammer. I use a brass hammer because I like these things. They're nice and heavy. They don't mar your surfaces. You know, they're good to have around. You don't need a lot of force with it either. Just a few little medium taps and that's it. It'll come right out. First step is to pull and eject the car up, secure it on the stands. Take your wheel off, whichever side you're doing, right or left. Then all you really got to do is just hold on, let me adjust my camera here. What you gotta do is this right here is the toe for the rear lower trailing arm. Leave it alone. You don't have to remove it or even loosen it. You gotta drop the two bolts for the rear trailing arm bushing, and you gotta take off the bolt for the upper control arm and the lower control arm. Lower control arm sometimes gives people problems. A lot of times the bolt gets frozen up in there, so you might need a pry bar or a breaker bar for it. Or if you have air, obviously that's better. And just lay either a 3/8 or 1/2 inch drive ratchet, or air again, an extension, and a 17mm socket. And you also need a 14mm too. And let's begin. What I did was I went ahead and I marked the bushing as it's coming out. I put a center mark in between the rubber here on both sides, top and bottom. And all you really got to do when you take it out, just knock it towards the outside of the car or towards the wheel. Let's go on and knock it out. Nice. And there you have it. Now the new one, when you put the new one in, there's a long part and a short part. The long part goes in towards the car. And again, you can do that. You can mark it like I did, you know, putting a new one in, or you can just kind of line up the center of the rubber there and put it in that way too. And putting it in is simple. You just line it up. Line it up, kind of push it in a little bit by hand. Give it a couple taps. Basically, you want the bottom part of the bushing to be flush with the control arm, and the top is going to be sunk in just a little bit. And there you have it. When you go ahead and when you put it back in place, just use your jack this part up. Get your bolts here started, but don't tighten them. You should be able to get your lower control arm in at that point in time. And then you should be able to turn this whole thing up a little bit and get this last bolt in for your upper control arm. And then that's it. Just get everything cinched down. You shouldn't even need an alignment because you didn't adjust it. You didn't mess with the toe down here. Everything should go back right the way it was, and everything should be good. It's that simple.